everybody, it's Prezi Illustrations here. How are you doing? How's your day? As for how I am doing, I very recently have been very interested in aquatic life. A few weeks ago, I was on my phone watching a few YouTube shorts when I stumbled upon a video of someone talking about a very interesting aquatic creature, who I will actually talk about in a second. And I wondered, what would aquatic creatures look like as people? So for today's video, I am going to be turning different kinds of aquatic creatures into character designs. And I just realized that this is probably the shortest intro I have ever done. So to start off this video, let's talk about the blue sea dragon, otherwise known as the Glaucus atlanticus, which is their scientific name. They are also known as blue angels or sea swallows. These creatures actually free float in the water. They float upside down, and they actually use the surface tension of the water to stay up. These creatures have been found in tropical waters around the world, specifically the Atlantic, Pacific, and in Indian Oceans. Although very recently blue sea dragons have been popping up a lot more frequently, and not in areas where they are mostly seen at all. There was an article posted about a month ago about how a blue sea dragon was found on a beach in Texas. There was another article posted around that time also about how beachgoers in Australia were actually warned by an ocean expert about this type of creature because there were dozens and dozens of them showing up on beach shores. These creatures can get to be about 3 centimeters long, which is a little over 1 inch, and because they are so small, it actually is unknown on how many blue sea dragons exist. You may be wondering, wow, these fish are very, very pretty. And you are right, but do not let those pretty colors fool you. Because what do bright colors mean in nature? Yeah, you stay the hell away from them. Because, fellow viewer, these sea slugs, believe it or not, have a very powerful sting. This is because blue sea dragons actually consume the stinging cells of its prey. They will eat the nematocysts, store it in their fins or in sacs on their body, and they will actually use this as a defense mechanism. One of the species that they actually feed on is the Portuguese man-o-war, which, how in the world did this creature figure that out? That this was their favorite meal? Who was the first blue sea dragon to be all these seaweed and crustaceans that are just swimming along here in this ocean floor that's mine for the taking? Nah. But the tentacles, the stinging cells of this jellyfish that's very venomous? Yeah. I want that one. Anyways, back on track. According to marine biologist Julian Obaid, the sting of a blue sea dragon is very comparable to that of a man-o-war jellyfish. If stung, some symptoms do include the following: nausea, pain, vomiting, acute allergic contact dermatitis, painful welts, and even post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. There are some articles that state that even 6 weeks after a man-o-war sting, there is a rash that can develop. And when a blue sea dragon stores multiple stinging cells on their body and at the end of their fins, their sting can be even more painful and sometimes even fatal. The reason as to why people mainly notice them by the shores of beaches is because their main defense mechanism is actually camouflage. The bright blue side of their bodies actually help them camouflage in the backdrop of waves, and their dull-colored backside helps hide themselves from the predators below them. I did a little bit of research before I did a few sketches for each aquatic creature I did for this video, and as for the blue sea dragon, these were the 15-minute sketches that I did. For some reason, I wanted to make this character into someone of a higher status, like someone who's royalty. I want people to have the same impression of her, like how some people would actually see a blue sea dragon. Wow, they're very eye-catching. Maybe a little too eye-catching. And something tells me I shouldn't get on their bad side. I also wanted her to also be someone that was semi-human. I gave her black eyes and a dark blue nose so that it would reflect the similar characteristics of a blue sea dragon's face. On her forehead, I thought about giving her a crown, but instead I gave her these circles on her forehead that is a tattoo. I did this because in one photo I saw, I did see a blue sea dragon with these bubbles or bumps on their forehead. I also saw that they had these two clear flaps of transparent skin that go over their mouth, and I thought it would be cool to interpret this as an underbite, so I gave her two fangs on her bottom jaw that curl inward. I gave her a shorter hairstyle, almost like a pixie cut, with curls that go inward and outward to reflect the shape of the fins on a blue sea dragon. And I also gave her a gradient of white to a dark blue to her ends to capture their colors. I was debating on giving her these nubs on the sides of her face to represent the nubs that the blue sea dragon has by their eyes, but I didn't really know how to incorporate that other than giving her like really pointy ears. So I gave her these pointy ears with dark blue ends to capture the colors of the actual nubs. I thought it would be a cool idea to give her earrings that represent the tentacles of a Portuguese man-o-war, so I gave her these string-like earrings with a light to dark blue gradient. I originally wanted to give her a dress that had pointy ends to capture the silhouette of a blue sea dragon's body, but for some reason I didn't really like how it looked as I was drawing it, so I instead gave her a long flowy dress with a cape that has pointy ends instead. I also added a dark blue color to the ends to capture how the fins are colored. As for the dress's colors, I gave her dress two dark blue lines that start from the top of her dress, but as they go down, the lines stay in the middle. I did this to capture the two dark lines that go down on a blue sea dragon's body. And I also added a slight blue gradient on the edges of the dress as well. I did read about how blue sea dragons are also referred to as sea angels, and I thought about incorporating that into this design. So I gave her these wings that are attached to the dress that have a dark blue gradient on the ends to also capture the silhouette of the fins on a blue sea dragon and how they are colored. Something also is that there is a blue dark ring on the wings and on the cape, and I added this to capture the dark blue ring on the fins of a blue sea dragon. Because she is also someone of a higher status and because I did want to balance out the colors, I gave her these dark blue gloves that go with her dress. Other than that, she was pretty much done. Here she is. She is definitely one of my favorites. But hey, let me know what you guys think. The next one is the Dumbo octopus, also known as the umbrella octopus. And I know what you all are thinking, but I swear this is their actual name. They were actually given this name for their resemblance to Dumbo the elephant because of their ear-like fins that actually help propel themselves in the water. These octopuses actually are the deepest living octopuses in the world. They live in the deep open ocean and they can be found at 13,000 feet in the depths of the ocean. In this area in the ocean, there is barely any light and they live in very cold waters. There was an article that was posted last year about how a Dumbo octopus was found swimming 21,000 feet below the surface of the ocean. They can get to be about 7.9 to 12 inches long. However, the biggest one that was ever found was 5 feet and 10 inches long, and it weighed 13 pounds. Something very interesting that I figured out was that compared to other octopuses that have ink sacs to protect themselves from predators, the Dumbo octopus actually does not. This is actually because they rarely encounter predators in the deep sea. So I wanted to make this character into a young boy. Like, literally all of the pictures that I saw of the Dumbo octopus, they were all so cute. The tiny ears on the sides of their face, their big black eyes, the bright yellow colors being used, so cute, so adorable. I can't believe, I'm so shocked with this. Okay, so I found an article that was literally titled 19 sea creatures that legit look like aliens and I am never going in the ocean again. And the Dumbo octopus was in this article? Huh? This thing? This right here? This guy? Granted, this was the photo they used for this article, but they're literally harmless. From what I have researched, there have been no fatalities with this creature. I would love to give this guy a pat on the head. Just look at him. Aren't they so cute? So I pondered on where I wanted to go for this design. I did think about the bright colors and the big eyes, but I was a little troubled, just a little bit. But then I realized that the Dumbo octopus actually goes by the name Umbrella Octopus, and I figured out where I wanted to go with this. So I gave this character very big black eyes with freckles to reflect not only the big eyes, but if you look at a Dumbo octopus very closely, they have these very tiny detailed dots on their body. To reflect the roundness of a Dumbo octopus's body, I gave them a round face and a bowl cut hairstyle. I thought that would be very cute. To reflect the fins at the top of their head, I gave them these two pieces of hair that curl inward and outward on the sides of their head. As for their hair and for their jacket, I gave them a bright yellow to orange gradient to reflect the colors of the Dumbo octopus. I also gave him these big ears because it's only right, to capture the silhouette, of course. And I also just realized that this is so Zenitsu from Demon Slayer. This is so Zenitsu. Also, I haven't seen Demon Slayer, so I really hope I'm pronouncing their name right. I swear, I didn't mean for this to happen, but it did. It did. This is what the universe wanted. But anyways, the way I wanted to go with this design was little boy with heavy clothes in the rain. I gave this character a heavy jacket with a hood, and I designed the folds at the bottom to reflect the tentacles of a Dumbo octopus. Apparently when they aren't moving around, they actually tuck in their tentacles under their bodies, which is so cute. Just like a little shy baby. Just a little baby. Just a little baby. I also gave him an umbrella to hold, not only because of the setting and to capture the roundness of a Dumbo octopus's body, but also because their other name is Umbrella Octopus. So it's only fair. Finally, I gave him some big yellow boots to wear, and he is all set, ready to go on a pretty cool adventure. Here he is. Here's the boy. Look at how cute he is. Isn't he so precious? Feel free to let me know what you guys think. The next creature that I want to talk about is the pygmy seahorse, otherwise known as the Barjaban seahorse. I really hope that I'm pronouncing this right. They are the smallest species of seahorses in the world. They can get to be about 2 centimeters in length, which is 0.79 inches. They are so small that they are smaller than a paperclip. A lot of the YouTube videos and articles that I looked into all refer to them as the masters of camouflage, and they do in fact deserve that title. They are so good at camouflaging within their environment that these creatures were actually an accidental discovery. In 1969, in New Caledonia, a scuba diver by the name of Georges Barjabant was snorkeling to find a piece of Gorgonian coral to take back, when he spotted a pygmy seahorse actually wrapped around one. He ended up still taking the piece of coral back, and this seahorse was actually named after the diver that discovered him, which is why they are called the Barjaban seahorse. What is interesting about these creatures is that they aren't just born with colors, they're actually born as a neutral gray color, and as they get older, that is when they start to get their colors that help adapt them to their environment. Moving on into how I designed this character. I'm going to be honest, I had no clue where to go with this. I think I spent a good 30 to 45 minutes just looking at pictures and videos to try and figure out where I wanted to put them, what I wanted them to look like, and what to even do. I couldn't think of anything. I was looking at pictures of their cute little faces, and I got nothing. There was nothing going on. My brain was empty. I couldn't think of anything. And then I thought of the idea of just looking up synonyms for the word camouflage just to see what could potentially pop up. Some interesting words that did catch my attention were the words cloak, veil, disguise, mask, and concealment. And I thought, what if I give her a masquerade ball type look, and I base her dress and overall theme to their coral environment. So that's what I did. I did a few sketches of my idea, and I went into the finalized drawing, which is what you'll see here. As for the colors I wanted to use, I know that there are pygmy seahorses that have mainly two primary colors. I saw one seahorse that had white and red, so I went in that direction. More specifically, like white, pink, and red. I gave this character black eyes with a orangish outer ring because in one photo I saw of this animal, they did actually have a slight outer ring of like a orangish yellowish color. So I applied that to this character. I wanted her to have a shy type personality just because these animals are mostly in hiding, and I thought that it would suit her better. I gave her a bit of red makeup on her eyes, I gave her red lipstick, and I gave her a little bit of blush on her cheeks. I also gave her freckles all over her face, arms, and on her chest. I did this to capture the tiny markings that are on a pygmy seahorse's body. As for her hair, you can see in the speed paint that I struggled a little bit on what color hair to give her. In the sketches I did, I gave her blue hair, which I don't know how my brain conjured that. What are you doing? Why would you do that? I didn't tell you to do that. So in the final drawing, I gave her light pink hair that is white at the top and a slightly darker pink in the ends. As for the actual design of her hair, I thought of the actual term horse in seahorse. And I thought about, well, horses in the wild, they're very untamed, a little bit unkempt. So I wanted to give her a haircut that captures that. I gave her a hairstyle that almost looks like a wolf cut, but it's very long, wavy, and with ends that stick out and curl in towards her face. I put red flowers in her hair to capture the flowers that grow on the fan corals that pygmy seahorses live in. And I also gave her these round earrings with a red-looking star that captures the designs on the fan corals. For some reason, I almost thought that it looked like a peppermint pattern. But anyway. As for the design on her dress, I didn't know if I should make it poofy, flowy, or even like skin tight. I decided to give her a mermaid dress. I'm pretty sure that everyone knows what a mermaid dress is, but just in case if there's anyone that doesn't, a mermaid dress is a pretty skin-tight dress at the chest and like waist area. But when it starts to go down towards the thighs, that is when it starts to flow out. And I thought that giving her a mermaid dress would capture the silhouette of a pygmy seahorse because they're actually very round. I was originally set on giving her a bright red dress, but when I actually compared the colors to that of the actual animal, it looked like it was too much red. Don't get me wrong, I was set on this being my idea. I was set on giving her a red dress, but I wanted to balance the colors and match the palette as well as I could, so I instead gave her a light pink to a dark red gradient for the dress. To incorporate the coral in the design and to capture the environment that the seahorse blends into, I gave her a coral design for the back of the dress, almost like an attachment. I got inspiration from the dress that was in that movie Barbie as the Island Princess, where Rosella goes to the ball in that dress with that with those peacock feathers in the back. I made the corals on the inside white and I had them fan out a dark red to balance those colors. And the round circles that grow on the pygmy seahorses are actually called tubercles. So I added the round tubercles on the coral in the back with the same red star pattern. I also gave her some pink gloves because she's going to a ball, so it's only fair. And lastly, as for the design, on the front of the dress, I got inspiration from one of the dresses I saw while I was looking up references. It was actually a mermaid dress and it had an embroidery in the front that literally looked exactly like coral, so I added that embroidery in the front of the dress. She's also going to a masquerade ball, so I had to give her a mask. I designed her mask not only to have a few of the pygmy seahorse's facial features on it, but I designed it to also have more coral in the design. So I added designed pieces of coral on the top middle part of the mask. Finally, I added the red star-like pattern on it throughout so that it resembles the tubercles that grow on a pygmy seahorse's body. And I made the mask a light pink color. So yeah, other than that, she is done. Here she is mask off, and here she is mask on. So yeah, I'm just gonna say it right now, she's my favorite, I'm in love with her, and we are married, we are already married. You don't see the ring that's on my finger, but there is a ring on my finger, so you should just take my word for it. But here she is. Isn't my wife so pretty? Isn't she so beautiful? Yeah, I'm showing her off. Isn't she so pretty? Anyways, let me know what you guys think. So So the last creature that I'm going to be talking about is the mauve stinger, otherwise known as the Pelagia noctulica. I really hope that I'm pronouncing this right. A few other names that this jellyfish goes by are the purple striped jelly, purple stinger, purple people eater, which, interesting, purple jellyfish, luminous jellyfish, and even the nightlight jellyfish. They are referred to as the nightlight jellyfish because they can glow in the dark. This term is also referred to as bioluminescence. This jellyfish is actually the most studied jellyfish in the world, and they live in warm tropical waters. Their colors are also very bright. Mauve stingers can appear in the color purple, pink, light brown, and even yellow. They are commonly found in Australia, but in a few rare cases, they have been found in California and Hawaii. Not only are their swimming abilities limited and they have been known to wash up on beaches on a few occasions, sometimes they can drift a little too far. There are some cases where mauve stingers have even popped up as far as the Shetland Islands and the Norwegian Deep. There have been some cases also where mauve stingers don't appear in a certain area for years, and then later they appear in swarms, which can definitely be a potential problem. There was an event in 2007 where a swarm of mauve stingers wiped out a salmon farm in Northern Ireland that caused $2 million worth of damages. According to the managing director, John Russell, who has also worked in this business for 30 years, claimed that he had never seen anything like this before. He claimed it was unexpected, absolutely amazing. The sea was red with these jellyfish, and there was nothing we could do about it. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, very scary when in numbers. And even just the individual sting of just one mauve stinger can certainly pack a punch, even on their own. A sting from one mauve stinger can not only last for 1 to 2 weeks, but it can cause the following symptoms: redness, swelling, rashes, dizziness, vomiting, diarrhea, allergic reactions, and even hyperpigmented marks and sudden skin eruptions years later after the encounter. So as for this character, I didn't really know what to do for them either. I thought about originally making them a dancer or a model. I thought about making them a dancer because of the way they naturally drift in the water. And I got more inspiration to do this because of mainly this picture. I can't really explain it, but I could see a pretty good silhouette of how I wanted to design this character. So I wanted to use a purple to pink color for this character, and I gave her a darker skin tone so that the colors could pop out even more. I gave her a little bit of makeup, and I gave her bright blue eyes to also help pop out the colors. I gave her a transparent round hat to represent the top of a mauve stinger's head, and I added tiny dots on the mauve stinger's head to reflect the dots that are all throughout a mauve stinger's body. Apparently the dots are nematocysts, and they are also stinging cells that are on their body. I gave her an afro hairstyle to match the area right below the bell of the jellyfish, and I made it a bright pink to capture that silhouette. Attached to the hat, I added these strings or attachments that represent the tentacles, and I added these individual flaps that represent the folds on the tentacles as well. To also capture the silhouette, I gave her a long white to purple dress with a bunch of tiny dots to also capture the nematocysts that are on the mauve stinger's tentacles as well. On the edges, bottom, and inside of the slit of the dress, I added those same individual flaps that resemble the folds that are on the tentacles of a mauve stinger. Finally, I gave her some dark purple heels and she was done. Here she is. I am pretty proud of how she turned out, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. So here are all of the characters that I have designed today. I definitely had a lot of fun while making this video. A little too much fun if I'm being honest. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys would like to see a part 2, feel free to let me know. I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys are hydrated. I wish you all stay safe, and I wish you all a good day. And I will see you guys next time. Bye! Plot twist, I just opened Audacity and I'm not recording. Oh my god, I got scared. Whoa! Okay, bye!